Hi, my name is Dan, and I am the founder of Projection Genie. Today, I'm going to walk you through RunSmart, our financial intelligence and advisory platform built for bookkeepers, accountants, CPAs, and fractional CFOs who are either already offering advisory services or want an easier, faster way to start. Most small business owners need more than just historical reports. They need help understanding where their business stands today, where it's headed, and how decisions around hiring, spending, pricing, debt, and growth may impact their cash flow and future profitability. The challenge for us advisors is that providing that kind of guidance takes a lot of time to prepare for each client after month end close. You often have to pull data from QuickBooks, clean it up, build or update spreadsheets, create forecasts, review KPIs, analyze trends, and then turn all of that into something a client can actually understand. That can be hard to do consistently, especially if you're supporting multiple clients. However, with RunSmart, it was built to make that process much easier. It connects directly to QuickBooks Online and automatically turns your client's accounting data into forecasts, financial health insights, KPIs, budgets, cash flow projections, and client ready reports. So instead of spending hours building models and preparing reports manually, RunSmart helps you get to the advisory conversation much faster. The goal is simple: help you deliver more forward looking guidance to your clients, create a more scalable advisory offering, and give business owners the insights they need to make better decisions. With that said, let me walk you through how RunSmart works. After you create an account, just register and log in. To see how easy it is to create a new project, click on the New Project button and fill in the details you see here. I'll quickly go through this process to save time. Now that I've filled everything out, I want to mention a few fields. You do have the ability to select your industry and the type of business associated with it. This will enable you to see our industry benchmarks when you look at your health scores. Secondly, you're allowed to choose the number of projection years that you want. Most choose between 1 and 5 years. And lastly, you get to pick the number of historical years you want to include in the analysis that RunSmart does. At a minimum, you need 2 years. This is to ensure that the forecasts that we build are as reliable as possible. And anything less than 2 years will not allow us to do that. And you have the ability to go up to 10 years. So the more historical data you provide RunSmart, the more reliable your results will be. After that, save project and scroll down to the project you just created so that we can connect to QuickBooks. This process is simple. All you have to do is select the account you want to use, and select the account from your list of companies to connect to. From there, RunSmart starts the initiation process. It will first collect your data, analyze any drivers, and then produce a forecast. This process takes roughly about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's dependent on how much data you have in your system. And that is it. Within a couple minutes, you are taken straight to the dashboard page where all of the analysis that RunSmart has done for this business shows up here. What you'll notice is that there was no setup involved, no customization, nothing that takes 20 to 30 minutes per client that most other software companies and software platforms require you to do. RunSmart was built specifically to make this process as simple as possible to allow you to focus on advisory work without all of the mundane, annoying processes and steps that you have to take to even get to this point. Now, let's quickly go back to the projects page. What I'd like to show you now is the portfolio view. This is a consolidated dashboard view of all of your clients that you can see in one page. This is where most of you will likely spend a lot of your time when you log into RunSmart because it automatically surfaces all of the key metrics across all of your clients and even enables you to see where there are issues so that you can pinpoint them and reach out to those clients so that you can set up conversations with them based off of what is actually happening in their business. For example, The Acme company that we had just signed up for, when you click on emerging risks, you can see that there is one high severity risk where there's a cash insolvency risk identified. And in this case, it's within 1 month. And then a few other medium severity risks. So RunSmart automatically determines, based off of the data that it pulls from QuickBooks, where there are issues that could be coming down the pipe. So anything happening within the next 6 months, if RunSmart identifies it, it will warn you on this page. But you can also see other things such as revenue, net income, net profit margin, runway, and health. It makes everything easy to read and easy to view so that you can triage where your clients need most of your attention this month so that you can reach out to them. Let's dive in a little bit deeper by clicking on the Bayside Construction Company. What you'll notice at the top is a health grade year to date for this business. So from January to May 2026, the overall health grade is an A. And just below it are key insights that RunSmart produces. And if you want to view more, you can just click View All Insights. And you can see all of the insights year to date compared to the same period last year that RunSmart has produced for you. This is a great way to see where things are doing well, where things have maintained, and where there could be some issues that you can dive a little bit deeper into. Other things you'll see on the dashboard are key performance indicators, revenue, burn rate, runway, cash flow, and a high level chart view of your profit and loss. The great thing about RunSmart is that almost all of the charts are interactive. So you can zoom in and you can move around to see how your business is doing. So in this case, or in all cases, all of the dark lines and dark bars are your historical data. And anything that is light in color and dashed are your forecast. So one thing I quickly want to mention is that this is a business with seasonality. So you can see that every summertime it peaks in revenue. You can see that this has been happening historically for many years. Very smart and great thing about RunSmart is that it is able to capture this type of data and these type of trends and be able to produce a forecast that aligns perfectly with them. So you'll notice here in the forecast that it continues to identify the seasonality and continue that along. Most other platforms will just stop here and then may have a straight linear line without the seasonality dips that will eventually affect your cash flow and other metrics of your business. So this enables you as an advisor to really get a sense of how the business will produce in the future, unlike other platforms that cannot provide you this type of information. Now let's quickly dive into the health scorecard because this is an area of the platform that you'll be using the most with your clients. The health scorecard is structured by 5 different categories: capitalization, efficiency, profitability, liquidity, and solvency. Within these 5 categories are 13 KPIs that we use to grade your clients based off of the industry that they're in. You'll see their results, the target benchmark, and their grade. The target benchmark is what we classify as the minimum score required to achieve an A. As an example, for annualized return on assets for this type of business, anything greater than or equal to 9% gets an A. So in this case, they got 19%, so they're being given an A. A really cool thing is that you could also change and compare years against each other, both historical and forecast. In this case, you could say, how was 2019 compared to 2023? And you could see what the trend was. Was it stable? Did it get worse? Or did it improve? You could also do this for future years. So let's say 2026, or actually let's choose 2027 to 2028. So these are forecast years. So because RunSmart is able to produce reliable forecasts based off of your historical data, we can also predict what the future will look like and what the key metrics are telling us could potentially happen in the future. Moving further down the sidebar menu is the key performance indicators. On this page are 4 charts that you can use to compare key metrics against each other, such as margin, equity book value, net debt, interest, and more. So all of these are switchable, and by doing so, you can see how things look across various different years, which makes analysis a lot easier to conduct. Moving further down to the cash flow statements, here you'll see a consolidated view of all of the cash coming in and out of your business and the ending balance associated with it. So, as I mentioned before, all of the light years with the diagonal marks and the bars are forecast. So, everything here is a forecast, and everything that's darker in color is your historical data. So, as you can see, it continues to account for the seasonality as money goes in and out of the business. Now, let's say you want to make edits to the forecast. You can start by editing the forecasted profit and loss statement, and I will show you how to do that now. So let's scroll down to your P&L statement. What you'll notice here is everything that's in these lighter colors is all of your historical P&L data that we pulled from QuickBooks. And anything that you see in this light blue color is your forecast. You can see it listed up here. So let's say you want to change this June 2026 number and you want to double it. So we'll click on these three dots. We'll say we want to increase this by 100%. Go ahead and click confirm. And it changed that advertising number from 71K to 142. These dots show that specifically this orange dot shows that there was an edit made to this line item. So to revert or delete this change, just click on these three dots. You can see that June 2026, there was an increase of 100%. You could say, I want to change that. Or you could delete it. And as you can see, $71,000 reappeared. Now you'll also notice this purple dot. So what you can do, and this is one of the great things about RunSmart, is that you can use this platform to interact with your clients. It doesn't have to be a platform that you use solely by yourself. This can be great when you're trying to create budgets for the new fiscal year and you want to be able to work with them to figure out what makes the most sense. So this doesn't have to be something where you work on your own and then get their feedback. You can work interactively within the application. You can leave comments, you can reply to threads, you can delete them, you can resolve them. Everything that you need to do to have conversations with your clients about their data and their numbers can be done within the application. And all of this is stored and recorded. So if you ever need to go back and reference this at a future point, you can do so. One other thing I want to show you that makes RunSmart really smart is the ability to see what we've identified as correlations to sales in your data. So if I scroll all the way to the left, you'll see that we use sales as a driver and identify what is correlated to it. So in this case, you can see that cost of goods sold we've identified is related to sales. So any changes that you make to sales, the forecasted cost of goods sold will automatically adjust so that it is synced in line with those changes. So if your sales increase by 100%, RunSmart will determine what the correct increase is to continue matching the correlated data that it finds. So everything is done automatically. You don't need to think about, okay, well, if I increase sales, I also have to remember to increase cost of goods sold by an equal amount in order to ensure that my forecasts remain reliable. RunSmart will do everything for you. The same here with advertising. It identified that as sales went up, the cost of advertising also went up by a relatable number. And so we've identified it as correlated. So anytime you were to go and make changes to sales, advertising will automatically adjust to match that for you. So, to make changes in sales doesn't actually happen in the profit and loss statement as you see here. You cannot make any changes to sales within this specific page. To do so, you need to go to the sales forecast to make those changes. Now, here is where your sales data lies. As you can see, here's your historical revenue. And then there are three branches that come off of that: a bear forecast, a base, and a bull. How RunSmart operates and how its statistical algorithms work is that RunSmart predicts that there is a 90% chance that your results will fall between the bear result and the bull result. As you continue to go down, we believe sales will fall in between these numbers. So this provides you with a few different options. If you looked up here in the forecast model, everything that you've seen to date has been based off of the base forecast for sales. You can choose to select bull or bear as well, or you can make a custom forecast. If you select a different model, such as the bull forecast for sales, all of the other related forecast numbers will automatically change to align with it. So as you remember, your cost of goods sold will also increase, your advertising expenses will also increase, right? Because we've identified that they were correlated. And so when you choose a new model, the associated expenses that are correlated will also change. But let's say you want a custom number. Let's say that you believe, based off of you understanding the business with your client, that these numbers will be vastly different in the future. You can actually go down to modify sales forecast. Say you want to manually input your own projections, and then come down here to custom sales forecast. Scroll over to the forecasted months and then enter your own numbers. So this way you can decide, you know what, I understand that there's something that's going to be happening to this business based off of environmental factors or macro or economic events. And so you want to input your own numbers. And with this option, you can do so. Let's continue to move down the list and check out the workforce planner. This is a great feature for you to plan out your headcount for the business. So if you want to see what adding 4 engineers or a couple of salespeople will have on the business, what impact it will have on the business in the future, you can do that by entering them here. When you enter them here, you can pick the pay rate, the pay type, their location, the job category, any employee name or ID, their position title, are they full-time, their hours per week, if you want to give them a raise at a annually or semi-annually, what percentage of benefits you want to tie to them, and their start and end months. So this gives you full flexibility to forecast and plan your headcount and then see what those changes in headcount have on your overall financial stability, profitability, and what your cash flow would look like. Another cool thing about this feature is that you can actually click on Org Chart Visualizer right here on the left and see an org chart of all of the resources and employees that you've created in a chart view where you can zoom in and you can zoom out, you can move it around. So obviously there's just one employee here, but as you add more and more employees, you'll see this org chart start to get built out. And it knows who's related to who reports to who by you choosing that. As you select and as you add new employees, you can select who they report to. And that's what we use to build out the org chart visualizer. Some remaining features that are very important for you to know are the progress tracker and reports. So the progress tracker is where you create your budgets and track how they're doing or how you're doing against those budgets over time. So, after you've modified a scenario, you've made any custom changes to the forecast as you please, you can then convert a scenario into a budget. And then once you convert that into a budget, you can then track how you're doing, meaning the actual versus budget, over time. So in this case, you can see that this budget was created in March of 2026, and there's been 3 full months since this budget has been created. And the black lines are where the actuals fell, and the green and red lines for this cash flow chart is what was budgeted. So it does this across cash flow, sales forecast, your key performance indicators such as income and gross profit, EBITDA, and so on. And then further down here in your profit and loss for income, COGS, and so on. This is a great way to see how your actuals are actually holding up against the budgets that you've set for the business. And finally, I want to show you the reporting feature. Here is where you can create monthly financial reports and have them sent automatically to your clients on the day that you select for them. You could choose to have them sent out monthly, quarterly, or annually. You can select who you want them to be sent to, and you can pick the color of the report to fit either the theme of and brand of your business or the client's business. So I believe there are 12 to 13 different styles that you can select. In this case, we'll just continue with the default blue, and you can just click on these arrows to kind of see what that looks like. So if we pick a different color, let's say advisor orange, you can see how that changes things. So after you select your color theme for the report and you add the logo of your business, which will appear down here, and the logo of your client's business will appear up here in the top right hand corner. You can go ahead and save project settings. And then once you do that, at the same period every month, RunSmart will automatically email a monthly financial report to your client so that you don't have to. Now, because it's sent automatically, you should ensure that you select a date that you expect your month-end close process to be complete and the books are closed. You don't want to send a report before that happens, otherwise your clients will get the wrong information. Or you could choose to do things manually, and if you want to do things manually, you just click on generate a report now, and then once that's completed, you then go to history, and then go to your newest report here, click on download, and then you can see the report. So you can see here is the logo of the client. Your logo is down here, and you can see how it looks. Everything is auto-populated, net income and cash on hand, budget versus actuals, health business scorecard. Everything is provided here at a high level, including some forecasts as well. As you can see, RunSmart is a very powerful financial planning and analysis platform for advisors and aspiring advisors who want to offer advisory services to their clients so that they can better generate revenue for their firm. I invite you to go ahead and try it out in person. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. There is in-app chat and email support, so we'll be able to answer your questions as they come through. Please check out www.projectiongenie.com/runsmart, and we look forward to having you as a customer of ours soon. Thank you.